Welcome back to the best podcast in America. Scratch that, best podcast in the world. Just a Casual's Insight. I am Jelani Smith, co-host of the show, 20 years old. I'm a communications major out of South Suburban College.
I'm Dakota Mitchell. I'm still cooking,
Still cooking with the best ingredients here. And the basis of our entire show today is going to be off what happened over the weekend. All-Star Weekend was super exciting. There was emotion, there was excitement, there was controversy, there was anger, rage with some of the things going on. And we thought that today, obviously, the day after All-Star Weekend ended, would be a perfect day to talk about the dunk contest, the three-point contest, maybe like 2 seconds about the skills competition, All-Star game, because the All-Star game, I'll be honest with you, I got to watch the highlights. I did not see the game, so I didn't get to see the entirety, but watching the highlights, I was so excited seeing it. It was great. And it was great that how hard they played in the fourth quarter. Amazing to see. So we're going to talk pretty much, fuck Rob Manfred for not doing anything to those players, not from a physical perspective, but the Astros players. If you guys didn't see the ruling today, the Astros players are not going to be punished at all for cheating digitally. Electronic sign stealing over the course of about 3 years did not get punished whatsoever. And I said it on Twitter today because I felt the need that it was important. I don't understand how players who legit cheated teams out of playoff wins and rings doesn't get punished, but Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens don't get into the Hall of Fame. Like, that doesn't make sense to me at all. Anything you want to say before we're not going to talk about the Astros. I just need to say that.
You want to know what they did? Go check out episode 16.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's not regarding baseball.
Yeah, so that blew a fuse in me. I was sitting there like, I'm a big Barry Bonds fan. Like, that's one of the dudes who got me playing baseball. So like, to not see him get in, but to see the Astros players get off so easy like that, I was like, hypocrite.
So would you say you're more mad about Barry Bonds not being in, or more mad about the Houston Astros?
I'm mad about both.
But like, if you had to say which one would upset you more?
No, the Astros players. But I just feel like that's important. That's an important part of it too, because for baseball, like, one thing about it is they talk about the purity of the game, and it's important that nobody struts or does anything crazy when you hit a home run, because you're supposed to be humble. But at the same time, you have all these people who have done steroids, and more than 40% of the league probably does steroids now. You have gamble issues, you have fixed games, you have all these different things going on, yet they're talking about purity and stuff like that. So I just think it's kind of hypocritical.
Is it too late for him to get into the Hall of Fame?
No, he still has eligibility. But the thing about it is he's 59%, right? This year, I believe he got 59% of the vote. You need 75% of the vote. And he doesn't have forever to do this. So, like,
all these years he's never gotten 75?
Hasn't gotten it.
That's crazy.
And this is the all-time home run leader. And I get it. Everybody's like, oh, he had a big head and his muscles were big, way bigger than he was. Like, why was he hitting all these home runs?
But like, he's not like banned from it. It's just like more like people like who make the decision. Like,
they're not putting him in.
Okay, so they're saying because of it's because of steroids. They're just not giving an answer. They're just not.
It's for a few reasons, but probably the biggest thing would be PED use. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of people who come out and say, well, PED use isn't a bad thing. And then there are people who say, well, electronic sign stealing is something that gives you more advantage than PEDs do. Mm-hmm. So I just don't understand why those two, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, haven't gotten in. But let's not get too far away from the subject. Stay tuned. Jelani Smith, Dakota Mitchell, Just a Casual's Insight. We're going to be talking about All-Star Weekend and the All-Star Game. Stay tuned. Oh, shit. Well, hold on.
There was that thing that happened.
And we are back. Just a Casual's Insight podcast going way up. Jelani Smith, Dakota Mitchell, and we're going to dig right into All-Star Weekend, All-Star Game stuff. I want to say congratulations to Bam Adebayo for winning the skills competition, Derrick Jones Jr. for the dunk competition, Buddy Hield for the three-point competition, and Kawhi Leonard for getting the All-Star Game MVP, the first ever Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award winner. What did you think about All-Star Weekend, really, just in general?
I mean, I felt it was a little less watered down than usual, but I mean, it's still like it's not. I don't find it super exciting anymore, but I mean, it was okay. I mean, it seemed pretty wholesome. Besides, I mean, the whole thing seemed cool for the most part.
I really messed with the whole, like, first off, I didn't see the skills competition. But the 3-point contest and the dunk contest this year, well, we can start there. So like I said, congratulations to Buddy Hield for that 3-point contest. I thought Devin Booker was going to win. Like I said before, that I thought Devin Booker was going to win, and he ended up being a finalist, ended up losing, but that was exciting. That was really exciting to watch. I love watching 3-point contest.
Is pretty lit. I don't like, personally, some bigger names in there, but I know two of the biggest names are injured right now.
Yeah, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and they've been in it a few times and been competing. Everybody kind of talks about the dunk contest, but before we do that, the dunk contest. So there's big controversy around the dunk contest, and I remember watching it and just being in shock. So Derrick Jones Jr., they're dunking off. It's him and Aaron Gordon in the dunk off. Mm-hmm. Derrick Jones Jr. does a sick, like, one-legged windmill, like Zach LaVine style, from like one step inside of the free throw line, and I believe he got a 48. Then Aaron Gordon comes in, and he on some spontaneous shit, wasn't thinking it at all. He just brings out Taco Fall, the tallest, biggest player in the NBA, jumps over him, grabs it, like, has it near his stomach area, dunks it, and everybody goes crazy. In my head, I'm thinking, all right, Aaron Gordon probably won this. Like, he probably won this. It's over. This is his first dunk contest trophy. It makes sense because everybody feels like he got robbed in 2016. Makes sense that he's going to win. As the numbers are coming across the board from the judges, I see two nines, number one. I'm like, oh shit. Then the last 9 from Scottie Pippen, I'm like, oh, I damn near ran out of my house. I was like, I know they didn't do that to him. What did you think about that?
I mean, at this point, it just seems right to rob him. Like, every year, it's just like, it's going to be weird if he actually wins one year, you know?
Oh,
so
man.
He might just be better off just taking home second place.
And he said it's a wrap. He said he's not competing in the dunk contest anymore. He's done.
Derrick Jones Jr. said that he had ready for a rematch anytime he won.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, can we get another dunk off, man? Like, come on, man. Because Derrick Jones Jr. did incredible stuff. Like, he did incredible. And I'm kind of on the like fence with the whole like, oh yeah, there should have been dunk champions. Like, I'm with that. But then at the same time, when I was watching it, I was sitting there like, nah, we need a winner. Like, we need a winner. I just didn't want it to end that way. Yeah. I just didn't want it to end that way.
I heard they were supposed to. They like somebody accidentally put up a 9. They were supposed to put up a 10. Like,
ooh, that's bad. Was it D Wade?
Yeah, like they were. He was supposed to put up a 10, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a dunk contest. So I mean, I'm not super worried about it. I feel like, yeah, Aaron Gordon could have won, but it's not like Derrick Jones didn't dunk his ass off.
Yeah,
so it's not like, I think it could have gone to either one of them. So, and
it was incredible. Do I think it was? If I'm being honest, and I don't even want to shit on nothing like that. Do I think it was bad? Because some people were saying best dunk contest ever, and I was like, nah. Nothing for me beats LaVine and Aaron Gordon. Like the excitement that they brought to me when I was watching that was incredible. I can remember that. I was 16, and I was just like, I was screaming in my house the whole time. That was incredible.
I mean, one day it's not gonna be able to make any more dunks. I mean, Michael Jordan said that. He said it's a lot harder for these guys these days because they have to create new dunks every time they go to dunk, you know?
Yep. And to see those two guys come out with some creative stuff, like I said, Aaron Gordon, no matter what anybody says, he's one of the 5 best dunk contest dunkers I've seen, like, in NBA history. I don't care. You can bring in whoever. You can say Vince Carter. You can say LaVine, Jordan, Jay Rich, whoever. I feel like Aaron Gordon belongs on that list because every year that he's done it, every year he's brought some creativity. Yeah. And the dunks are always on edge.
Right now, I think he has the most 50s out of anybody in dunk.
Yeah, and hasn't won. I'm like, wow. That's crazy. Now, the one with LaVine, I don't know if he got robbed. You know what? Okay, he didn't get robbed of the trophy, but they did him bogus for not giving him a 50 on that dunk. I felt like that was a 50 dunk. He kind of like back scratched it and then brought it down to like his knee area and then dunked it. And I feel like they kind of jumped the gun on that one too quick, giving him a 49. Mm-hmm. But this year, I was like, oh, you could have kept him in and kept the dunking going or given them. It was great though. I loved it.
I think it was better than last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was alright. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of dunk contest. I'm more of a fan of the 3-point contest.
And that was good too. Like this year was the 3-point contest was so tight this year because I was of course rooting for Zach LaVine, but to see him, he got a 23, but to avoid elimination, he had to get 26. Mm-hmm. Like the dudes that came out here this year, it was stacked. Like Buddy Hield, Devin Booker, Bertans, Trae Young. It was a bunch of Devontae Graham. Like all them dudes are really like human torches. So that was so fun to watch. And then the All-Star game was literally like maybe I'm being like a hype beast, but I felt like, and I haven't watched too many All-Star games. That's the best All-Star game I've ever seen. Like personally, me watching.
I like the one where it was I can't remember what year it was, but they were all basically like they were wearing their home jerseys, like let's say the Hornets were wearing a home.
They were in their
jersey,
jerseys, right?
They were in their jersey. It was home.
I can't remember the year.
I think the other team side was on they all wearing their away jerseys.
I can't remember the year, but I know what you're talking about. I cannot remember the year, and I apologize for not knowing the damn year on that one. But that was exciting.
I also like the one when Kobe stacked up against MJ.
Oh, 97.
Yeah.
97. That was unforgettable. And they did his ass dirty not playing him in the fourth quarter.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of the format they used this year. Like, I understand it was all of this to like credit Kobe, but I prefer the regular like point. I mean, like, whatever, if you win with 2 quarters, the other team wins 2 quarters, and it's like, we just lose because they hit the last in the fourth.
I liked how when they were going so hard at each other, because watching it, the All-Star game, the statement behind it is supposed to be the greatest pickup game in the world, and it's cool. Like, it was to see them, like, you've played in games like pickup games before, where like both of y'all got GP. And then it's like another 10 minutes to see who's going to make the next basket. Yeah. That's what that shit was. Like, they were both trying to get to 157. And for like a few minutes, nobody could score. But it was like a bunch of dudes were going one-on-one with each other. Like, LeBron tried to shoot one from the logo and try to end the game that way. Joel Embiid was trying to go one-on-one with LeBron. James Harden was going one-on-one with like, it was crazy. Like, it was really, really, really exciting. The first few quarters, it was, it's the All-Star game. They're all trying to dunk and they're all trying to do alley-oops and crazy crossovers and stuff. But when the fourth quarter time came around, it was like, all right, we got to play because we're trying to win. And I like the idea that they had, it was for charities too. So whoever won the game, it was quarter by quarter. So if you win the first quarter, you donate $100,000 to a charity. And then it just keeps going in that way. And that was kind of cool. I liked it. Overall in Chicago, I thought it was nice. At first, I was kind of iffy. I was like, I don't know how it's going to be this year. But what did you think about them making the Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP, naming it after him?
When it comes to naming it after him, I think it was a good choice. I don't think there's anybody else who really deserves it more than him. So there's no reason not to.
I feel like it was a good idea, too. He's tied for most All-Star Game MVPs. And I know some people, you were telling me yesterday, were like, well, they only doing that because he died and all that different stuff. True. That's true. Yeah. But at the same time, he has credibility in that sense where he's...
Yeah, it's not like they're just giving it to somebody like, no offense, Paul George. Not like Paul George Award. Like, they're not doing it randomly. It's like somebody who has the credentials to get the award.
This is somebody who puts on a show in the All-Star game every single year. Like, that he's been in. He's going in there and he's trying to ball out for people. And that's what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
When the All-Star game comes around, people get real antsy, but at the same time they're deflated a little bit because the players don't compete as hard as what everybody likes. But Kobe every year brought it. Yeah. He brought it every year. That's why he won 4 All-Star Game MVPs, and that's why I feel like it's a good idea to have him as the All-Star Game MVP trophy. I feel like it's a great.
I think he definitely deserves it out of anybody. I can't think of somebody else in the league that I would want to have the award.
I mean, the way that Kobe played in All-Star games is the way that Russell Westbrook comes at it and approaches it. Like, he approaches it as if it's a real game. You know what I'm saying? Like, as if it's in a real game, playoff game type of thing. We're going as hard as we possibly can. I don't care that I'm tired. I don't care that, not to say that there's anything wrong with players wanting to rest and chill out with their families and stuff like that. But if that's what everybody wants to see, I think Kobe brought that. So I like the idea of that. For next year, who would you like to see in the dunk contest?
I don't know. Let's just make the 3-point contest twice as many as the dunk contest.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing you were telling me. You were saying that the 3-point contest needs to be
add more rounds to it. I would like to add more rounds to it. I think it's an exciting event. It's like you don't get a second try. There's no third try. It's just you go in. If you get to hit them as many as you want, or as many as you need to pass, then you get it.
And they had the Mountain Dew ball this year where they shot it from 30 feet and you get 3 points for that.
I don't know if I like that. There's certain things that I want to just like the All-Star game. I prefer that to more traditional. The 3-point contest, dunk contest, more traditional. I'm fine. Do whatever you want to skill challenge because nobody's watching that anyway.
You know what else? I was watching the celebrity game. First off, the celebrity game. I know y'all celebrities, you don't do this for a living, but that was trash. That was low-key trash. Like,
I don't know why. Like, I feel like it's disrespectful to have WNBA players in the All-Star game.
Like they had Asia Wilson,
who's
like a 2-time All-Star.
Like an NBA player in the women, like a WNBA All-Star
game.
For
real, like she can't play or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's just disrespectful.
Come on,
like,
bro.
If it was a retired WNBA player, that's one thing, but
she's a 2-time All-Star. She's 23 years old, playing in the league right now. Yeah. Like, I was like, what is she here for? She'll bop the whole.
They had like Jason Tatum go play in the WNBA All-Star game. What are you doing? Come on, man.
But I that game was trash, and it was guys and women who don't play. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I understand that part, but I've seen people mid-range. I've seen people from the elbow area airballing. Stephen A was screaming, trying to make attention out of himself. I was just like, this is not fun. But
it was more a publicity thing.
Quinn Richardson and Darius Miles. Now they're NBA players, right? But they were in the game, and they have knuckleheads. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if this podcast ever blows up the way we expect it to blow up, they better put us in the fucking Celebrity All-Star game. I'm firing them motherfuckers up, boy.
I'm just shooting. I'm not driving. I'm just shooting the ball.
Oh, I'm gonna be called the black hole that day, bro. I'm not giving the ball to nobody. If you pass it to me, don't expect it back, bro. I'm shooting. And I'm going for the All-Star game MVP. I'm finna do even if our team loses, I'm going Jerry West.
Yeah, I mean, Common had like 10 points. Why would 10 points MVP? I don't know about that.
And Common, like, he can ball, but like, it was like, I was like, but I ain't hate. I don't want to hate.
I think it's always been boring. I thought they had some other people in there I would like to get some more minutes, like Handle Barris, Anthony Adams.
Yeah. They had him in.
Yeah,
Spice Adams was in. He got swatted by Quinn Richardson, but he was very fun to see out there. And then he was hitting threes. Darius Miles was hitting threes. They're the regulars and stuff like that. I wish they would have brought somebody like Tracy McGrady back. I would have loved to see him in the game. Scotty need to come out.
Ray Allen might have been able to do it again.
Yeah, Ray Allen. Oh yeah, he was firing their ass up last year. But I want to see Scotty in it. I want to see. I don't know.
I don't want to see Famous Lawson in it again. I'm sorry. I got no beef with him, but like, the man just posting hoop highlights on YouTube and then made it on there. Like, come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. We just get it going.
That's not a celebrity, dude. That's not a celebrity.
I want to see. Damn, who's retired? Nah, not GP. GP a little too old. What they need to do is, I'm surprised Shaq didn't want to be in any of that like celebrity game.
I don't think he can get up and down like that down the court. I mean, he would just stay on the other end, like cherry picking, like.
I would love to see LeVar Ball talking all that shit. You might want to get your ass in the game.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. There's certain people I don't think they would do it. Like, that's like asking LeBron to do the dunk contest.
And then the Rising Stars game. Forgot to hit that up. Congratulations to Miles Bridges, won the Rising Stars MVP. And seeing those players, I get it. It's a lot of fun. It's supposed to just be kind of offense. But the amount of talent that the young players have is astounding to me. It's great. It's great. And the guys put on the show: Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Trae Young, Luka, Miles Bridges, Colin Sexton, DeAndre Ayton. All the dudes they really put on the show. It was a great exhibition to see. Who is your favorite Rising Star out of all those guys?
Ja Morant or not Ja Morant.
Ja Morant.
I was gonna say Jason Tatum. I forgot he was he's a year too old for that. But yeah, definitely Ja Morant is my favorite rookie / second year, first year player. Like in that range, he's my favorite player. I know he's a rookie, but like I like him more than any second year player too. Yeah,
Ja Morant. He don't come off as a dude who's afraid. Like he'll try anything.
I understand like Luka and like Trae, like they're amazing players and like all-star level players, but I don't click with them like that, you know. Like I get Luka Magic, but it just doesn't hit me like that.
My two favorites are definitely Ja Morant and Trae Young. Like both of them, just kind of like they seem like they unafraid. They don't care who they play. And by the way, Trae Young played great in the All-Star game yesterday as well. He played great, but them two guys, they unafraid. They really go at people as if they 30 years old. You know, they really go at people as if they're like the best players on the court. And I love that mentality because I feel like not everybody, but it's a good thing to have, especially when you're in the league and you're young and you're out to prove yourself a little bit. Like to see Ja Morant like contesting bigs and taking on the challenge of guarding the other team's best guard or doing different things like he does, it's so much fun. And even going at people like James Harden or Kyrie Irving, like all those different guys, like you could tell that he's unafraid and that's fun to watch. Probably the most exciting player I've seen like in the NBA this year, at least one of them.
He's definitely a fun player to watch and he can do it all, so I enjoy watching him play.
Yeah, I've never seen, besides Westbrook, I've never seen him do with those kind of hops before. Like he jumps and it looks like that motherfucker's head, like he's looking in the rim, like somehow. Yeah. I'm like he's looking at the pot when he's cooking or something like that. I'm like, God, this dude be jumping like a bug.
For real. What did you think of Anthony Davis said that he missed the first free throw on purpose?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Damn it. Okay, so I love the All-Star game. I was sitting here praising it. I'm not gonna complain. But I will say that I wish it wouldn't have ended on a free throw.
I don't think it should be capable of ending on a free throw.
I don't want to complain, but yeah, I wish it wouldn't have ended on a free throw because they put on a good show. I'm okay, Anthony Davis. I ain't got no problem with that at all. Like I wouldn't have wanted to end that way either. You know, I wouldn't want it to end that way.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that's a bad way to have it. I mean, like, they played 150 points and it ends by a free throw. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got all that way. All the suspense and all that different stuff, and then we ended on a free throw. I'm like, oh man, come on, bro. Like, I think it was Kyle Lowry that fouled Anthony Davis, and he went to the free throw line. I'm like, damn, somebody was supposed to hit a game winner. Somebody was supposed to GP somebody.
I missed them both.
Yeah.
I just throwing that bitch to the crowd.
We not ending the game this way. Like it's not.
I just felt like I didn't like that it ended like that, but people were talking about how would they feel if all overtime that was like played how that quarter was played. It seemed like you have to get to a certain amount of points. Let's say first person to 21.
They're gonna have to run that back. They're gonna have to convince me of that one a little bit more. I love making changes to basketball, like league rules, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know.
I think it would cut down on like how long games take. I mean, you can't go. There's no double overtime, no triple overtime, and when you get to that.
That would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, look, the game of basketball at the end of the day is a game of basketball. It doesn't have to be watered down by all the money and glamour involved in it. When you play it at 21, it's almost like these guys are back on the playground again. Like they're playing against each other a little bit. Mm-hmm. It would be fun to see that. I want to see it happen a few times before I'm sitting there like, okay, like I don't want to sit here and because I envision it in my head right now. I can't really see what that would look like. But if I saw it, like, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this might be the way to go. I might fuck with it. I don't know though.
I just think it might be. I think it'd be interesting to watch like James Harden be like, all right, I'm about to ISO. I got 24 seconds. I just have to get a bucket.
That would kind of be dope to see. I would love 21 or 24 or 32, whatever they would play to. Like that would be that would make things a lot more interesting.
I think it'd be interesting, but then again, there's no more buzzer beaters, like no more last second, like
no more of that type of stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe during the regular season. I don't want it in the postseason though.
Yeah.
I don't think mess with the postseason. I want it to be like.
I like the postseason. I like the postseason. I fuck with the postseason. They're supposed to be having like in-season tournaments and stuff like that. That's one thing that they were talking about as well was the King of the Court idea. I want to see that.
I think it's a good idea. I think a lot of players with time to do that. I mean, I think there's probably maybe 20, 25 guys, 30 guys who think they're the best in the league or can't be guarded one-on-one. So
I would love to see that. And I'd be pulling for anybody that's be playing. But for me, if it was separated like guards, forwards, centers, or something like that for my guard, I'd probably pick Harden. I don't see why I wouldn't go with Harden. Or maybe it's either Harden, Kyrie, or Dame for me. Like they would probably win.
Yeah, I mean, I would pick Harden. I just don't know like how he'll do defensively.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The good thing is the rest of them dudes, they don't really check people that well. They don't check people that well on defense.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think I pick Harden or Kyrie.
Yeah, one of them two for me would probably win. Like nobody can check any one of them dudes one-on-one.
I don't think Steph would participate. I think Steph.
I don't think so either. But Harden, I know. Harden, shit. All the isolation he does, he better want to compete in that shit.
He better compete. He's saying everybody's the best in the world. You got to show it.
What's the name?
Forwards, I'm picking KD. I'm not questioning.
Yeah, KD. I would pick KD. Yeah, I love LeBron over KD.
Now, if it was LeBron, like if KD wasn't there, I'd probably pick Giannis. I'm not picking LeBron as my one-on-one player. I'm sorry.
I would. You know what? I don't think Kawhi would play that game.
I mean, if he were to play though, I'd still pick more LeBron. I still think Bron is top 2 right now, but I'm not picking him over
Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
they say Kevin Durant.
I'm not picking him over Kevin Durant, Giannis, or Kawhi, at least one-on-one.
Yeah, they say Kevin Durant is like the best pickup player like ever. Like they say this motherfucker can't be stopped pickup games. Like I've seen him play in pickup games, and I'm like, he look like he's just toying with these dudes out here.
And he's got to be one of them for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see PG in there too. He's great. As far as centers, I would probably go.
I think if they do centers, they just start in the post.
That's what I think they would do.
Yeah.
But if they started them from the top, I would say Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis is probably the most nimble center out there, or at least one of them. But on the low block, I would pick Embiid probably, or Anthony Davis. Like I don't really Boogie, if he was like a healthy Boogie, could challenge that. But I would love Embiid. I would love Embiid. I think Embiid
that's probably a good choice. I mean, Giannis could also be considered a power forward, but on the low block, I'd probably pick Embiid.
Embiid is.
I picked last year Embiid. If it's this year, I'm picking Davis.
They both got a nice little scoring repertoire down there. I'm trying to think of another center. Like I mean, I'd like to see Vucevic in there too. He's got a great repertoire down there. I don't think he would win, but I would love to see him because he's great down there in the low block. Sabonis is great too.
Yeah, I think Jokic can do that job.
Jokic too.
But as far as one-on-one, I don't know if he'd be able to cut it like.
No, Jokic ain't stopping none of them I don't know if he's stopping any of them on defense. I don't know about that one. But I don't even know if he even want to compete. But if he did, he'd be as good as anybody down there in the post damn near. But on actually defending people, I don't know. But that would be fun to watch. I would love to watch something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else really All-Star Weekend that really went on that kind of sparked my interest a little bit. Seeing Dwight Howard and Pat Connaughton out there, well, mainly Dwight Howard, it was cool to see. And then Pat Connaughton brought himself a little something too. He just didn't make it onto the next round, but I enjoyed both of them dunking.
I mean, I thought Dwight Howard was going to be better, to be honest with you.
I thought he had more tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
I thought he had more tricks up his sleeve.
He was so creative back in the day with the cupcakes and the two
tapping on the backboard and stuff like that. I thought he was going to come in and be like, do some like throw the ball off the shot clock and then dunk it from the side or some crazy shit like that.
He had more plan. I know he had a couple dunks he wanted Kobe's help with before Kobe passed away. He had a couple he's asked before, so.
I would have loved to see that. But Pat Connaughton, he kind of brought out the whole like white man can't jump Woody Harrelson look, and then he did a few dunks like dunking over people and stuff like that. Like one, he tapped the backboard and then dunked it in, and it was like, oh shit, like that was a good dunk. But he just missed the cut with Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. They said Stephen A. said this earlier. He said that Derrick Jones Jr. like did too many between the legs. You think he did like a little too? Because every one of his dunks was between the legs.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing that. I think the windmill's a little overrated. But plus, I mean, honestly, you asked me the last 3 years, everybody who jumps from the free throw line is jumping after the free throw line.
Yeah, they're jumping step in.
Yeah,
they're jumping a step in.
I don't think they're jumping at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it's hard to do.
I think Zach LaVine did it. He just didn't do it. Like,
he did dunk it from the free throw line.
I think he did do it from the free throw line one time, but then when he started like doing like windmills and stuff, that's when he started taking a step in.
Mm-hmm. That between the legs, it was a step in. But then they were like, oh, that's crazy. Like, the only person that I've seen recently that did that jumped really from the free throw line was Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka, I remember he actually dunked from the free throw line. Nah, he dunked from a little bit inside the free throw line on some alley-oop shit, but like Serge was probably the best at. He was probably like he literally dunked from behind the free throw line. I was like, oh, shit, man, he can fly. I didn't know he could fly like that.
He can't do it anymore. But
hell no, probably not. He can still get blocks and stuff like that. But I don't know
he's still Serge Ibaka, but I mean,
I don't think he's jumping like that no more. And that dunk contest was dope. Actually, that's one of my favorite ones too. Is that really?
Yeah, but we could come back. I can think of something for the next segment. So we'll
just the casuals inside. Jelani Smith, Dakota Mitchell. Stay tuned with us. We're gonna be spontaneous on this next segment. And we are back from a pseudo commercial break. Just the casuals inside. Jelani Smith, Dakota Mitchell. We have decided to run a few topics on this show. Some little debates, some little interesting quotes.
It is highly encouraged that anybody gives their opinion in the comment section.
Always encouraged.
Especially during these, we have a couple of debatable topics, so there are a lot of opinions you can give, you know.
And we're gonna get into it right now.
Okay.
What was the first thing?
So, first question, Jelani, do you think James Harden has cracked the top 4 shooting guard of all time spot?
I think okay. So I don't try to look at basketball too much from an accomplishments perspective, but based off of what I've seen on the court, he's probably like he is.
So you think he's faster than Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Unless you have Allen Iverson above Dwayne Wade.
No, I think in terms of like ability wise, like James Harden belongs like in the same realm as a Kobe Bryant or as a Michael Jordan. I think he's in there.
So you think he's top 3?
Yeah, I think he's.
You think he's above Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, in terms of like ability on the basketball court, everything, all encompassing ability in terms of being able to shoot, driving, passing, like doing all the different things he could do on the basketball court. I think he's there. I think he's Like I'm not gonna sit here and second guess that one. He's there.
He's official here. Jelani Smith says.
James
Harden is a top 3 shooting guard of all time.
In terms of like ability, like James Harden is legit. What?
Well, 6'5"? If we talking ability, then T-Mac is like.
He's there too, but I'm saying I think James Harden
T-Mac is like top 4 then.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the point. Like that's what I like to go off in basketball because like I always say, I said it on I said it a few episodes ago, like solo episodes ago, that stats are circumstantial, teams are circumstantial, wins are circumstantial. I like to judge players based off more of what their ability is on the basketball court, like the time that they've put in and how much ability they actually have on the basketball court. And I think James Harden at 6'5", 6'6", 240, because he ain't no damn 220 anymore. He's bigger than that. Had quickness like a cat, can shoot the ball from 3 as almost as well as anybody besides Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Like he's a marksman from out there. Gets to the free throw line as well as anybody, can get to the lane as well as anybody. Has a handle that is probably like at least top 10 in terms of ball handlers you've ever seen. Passer, he's probably he's one of the top passers in the NBA, at least. So I think in terms of ability-wise, like what he's been able to do constructing his game, I don't see why he wouldn't be there.
That's interesting. That brings up a whole lot of other debates. If you talking about
yeah. You know what? I'm interested. Instead of just stacking accomplishments, like I said, some guys don't play with other guys. Some guys don't play against this competition, that competition. I'm interested in the the very foundational part of the game, which is actual ability on the basketball court. That's why we enamor ourselves over Kobe Bryant so much.
So then where does T-Mac rank for you all time?
He's probably like, I'm saying, I feel like he's probably.
Is he top 15 for you then?
Of course. Oh, with players?
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah, I think I said on one podcast, I can't name probably ability-wise like 10, 15 players that were better than Tracy McGrady.
Career-wise, is James Harden better than Dwayne Wade?
No.
Okay.
No. I understand that argument. That argument's been made for years.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I get that part.
Allen Iverson, career-wise.
Oh, Allen Iverson, career-wise?
Is he better than Allen Iverson?
I don't know if he's there now, but he's going to end up eclipsing that probably.
I mean, they both have MVPs. Neither of them have. I mean, the only thing Allen Iverson did argue that James Harden is make the finals, and James Harden did make the finals back in OKC. So, I mean.
So I like to just but Allen, like I say, so 5 shooting guards that I feel like.
All right, just rank your top 5 in order, starting with.
I don't have no order for this. I can try order if you want, but like I feel like
do your best to try order. But like, okay, you don't have to name Kobe versus Jordan. You can leave those two alone. Just name your bottom 3 of the top 5.
Bottom 3 of the top 5.
Yeah,
I would say
in order.
I would say Harden, AI McGrady. No, Harden. I don't know if it Harden. McGrady AI.
So Wade is not in your top 5?
He's 6.
That's something else.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. I mean, look, it's absolutely no disrespect to Dwayne Wade because like me saying that didn't have more ability than somebody. What does it matter to him? He has 3 championships in the day, right? And he's a 13-time All-Star.
It's availability.
And I think personally, like Dwayne Wade, at the end of the day, like if you're 6 compared to all the other shooting guards that have ever played the game of basketball, there's been some really talented guys. You know what I'm saying? So he's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in terms of slashers, he's probably like top 3 or top 4. You know what I'm saying? Like slashing to the basket and getting there whenever you need to. 100%. Dwayne Wade is right there, but I just think all encompassing stuff. I feel like he's just outside of that.
You guys heard it here first. Jelani has Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, at 6.
Dwayne Wade is not in his top 5 shooting guards of all time. Feel free to let us know your list in the comment section and who you think.
That should spark some conversation.
And why you think Jelani's wrong. But
that should be some conversation. But I just think, like I said, like, and it's more than just looking like at stat sheets. Like I said with Nick Wright or like anybody else, it's more than looking at stat sheets. It's being able to just look at a game and understanding what's going on in the game and how players play out there on the basketball court, the different dynamics that come into the game, like how they control the pace, all those different things, like. That's part of it, and you have to watch the game in order to see those things. If you don't, and you elect to watch 3-minute highlight clips or look at stats, then you might not see it. But I feel like James Harden doesn't get as much credit as he deserves.
All right, before you answer your question, then, where do you have Curry ranked all the time, point guard wise?
In terms of point guards?
Yeah,
he's probably I can't imagine him being outside of my like 3 or 5. I can't imagine that.
Where do you have him?
I can't imagine that. In terms of ability, in point guards, right?
Yeah, I mean, your basically only question is, do you have him high? Like, there's John Stockton, Zeke.
Stockton. I said Stockton. I'm sorry, Magic.
Stockton, Zeke, and Magic and Curry. Where's that order?
I think based on the evolution of the game, I feel like ability-wise, there's nobody that probably beats Curry. You know?
Curry's your number 1 point guard of all time?
Yeah.
Those are interesting takes, Jelani.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't really, and I mean, some people will make the debate like that's an honest debate. Like, is Curry a 1? Is he a 2? Is he really a true point guard? Like, people still have those debates all the time. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely not big enough. If you put him at the 2, a lot of nights he's gonna have trouble guarding whoever's at the 2.
Or they'll say the same thing about Russell Westbrook, like, oh no, he's really a 2 masking as a 1, and like, or James Harden is a 2 masking as a 1, and like, you know, so. It's interesting because the evolution of the game has made it so where guys like Magic and Stockton and, you know, even Isaiah were a little less are less in like they're less popular today. Like there's still Chris Paul, you know, and there's still John Wall and guys like that, but there's more combo guards in the league than anything else, you know. So
right, well, while we're on the topic, I think I'll give you my 5. I got as far as shooting guards and then point guards. I got number 1 shooting guard. I got Kobe, Jordan, Wade, James Harden, and Iverson.
That's a good list. Who's 6?
6 is T-Mac.
T-Mac?
I can't give it to him because I mean the playoff struggles. I mean his injuries. I can't hold that against him, but I'm not going to give him a freebie because of that.
So okay, that's a perfectly good list right there. Like I like
point
that
guards. I got Magic, John Stockton, just because of all the records he has, steals and assists wise. Curry and Zeke.
I think if we're talking about I think if we're talking about like vision and just overall point guard ability, like from the traditional sense of a point guard, I don't know how you can go outside of Magic, Kidd, Nash, Stockton. Like those guys right there are the four. You know what I'm saying? Those are like the four, and then you add CP3 somewhere and probably in there too. But like those 4 or 5 guys, that's where it ends. That's where it ends. That's where that debate ends. Let me ask you a question now.
CCP's knocking out the park.
Top 5. Is Bill Russell a top 5 point? I said point guard. Top 5 center today. Not today, but like all time. I'm sorry.
I just had to go to my list to see that. I got Kareem above him. I mean, I don't think that's a question. I mean, as many as Bill Russell did win, I think Kareem won. Not only did he win, but he's like top all-time scoring and all that. So
more MVPs, more all-time of the year scoring.
Give me Kareem. I think Hakeem. If you my list, actually, you asked me, Kareem is Hakeem Olajuwon is the best center of all time, in my personal opinion. I got him. I mean, defensively, he's definitely the best defensive center of all time.
Yeah.
And so offensively, everybody else who he played against, he bodied. So, I mean, Patrick got the business.
David Robinson,
Shaquille O'Neal, they all got the business. So that's enough said. Give me Kareem next. Then give me. If we're counting Tim Duncan as a power forward, then I'm not going to take him. I'll get Shaq next. That means Shaq can do it with the best of them. And then top 5. He's like right there. He's like right on the edge. If Tim Duncan's the center, I take Tim Duncan by 5. But I guess I'll put Bill Russell's my top 5. He's my top 5.
He's in top 5?
He's top 5.
He's top 5 for you? I think he deserves that distinction. I feel like those, except because some people like to say Tim Duncan was a power forward. I feel like most of his career he really was a center, but like it's whatever. So if we're gonna play that game of Tim Duncan as a power forward,
if I'm gonna Tim Duncan played at the center, then Bill Russell's not my top 5.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, I think David Robinson would probably be on. I don't know why people don't talk about the Admiral as if he couldn't play. Like, I mean, he could really fucking ball. He had he had 70 points in a game before and like an official quadruple double.
There, but I can't put him above Hakeem because I know Hakeem gave him the business straight up. I can't put him above Shaq because Shaq is Shaq. You know? It's hard for me to put anybody above Shaq because Shaq is arguably the greatest all time.
Most dominant.
Everyone ability wise.
What about Chamberlain?
That's more of like a stat machine. As much as I like that, I don't really do my top list off of a stat machine. It's more of like what you stack up their whole career. Boom, this player, where's he at? And as good as him, I mean, it's weird for me to say he's not in my top 5, but then have both. None of my top 5 is considered the GOAT or one of them.
It would be hard. It'd be hard not to put Chamberlain.
Bill Russell and Wilt are one of those. So
yeah, it'd be hard not to put Chamberlain because I mean, not even just the points and all that stuff. I mean, he was at the time and apparently this is still true. A 48-inch vertical could jump out of the gym, could run fast as hell, had all that, and he had some moves down there too.
I thought about it a little bit. Let me go Hakeem, Kareem, Wilt and Bill. No, Bill and Wilt. And then my last one is Shaq. Shaq is top 5.
Woo! Honestly, I don't see no flaws in that list, except I'd probably place. I'd reverse Shaq and Wilt, but other than that, probably the same thing.
The only reason I have him is because if Shaq is up there for pure dominance, nobody dominated more than Wilt. So.
Well, yeah, truthfully. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I might have to stick with Wilt at the 4 then. But besides that, I agree with your list. I can't really see any other center because I was gonna say David Robinson, but then I'm like, well, Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, you have to put in there. Those are pioneers.
Now that I rethought about it, I was thinking about pure ability in their prime, but I mean, you can't not have Bill Russell up there. I mean, he's in the GOAT conversation. He can't not be top 5 center, you know. And
I agree with you on Wilt. I said Wilt. Hakeem at 1. Because I feel like nobody had it better than Hakeem in terms of just in
his prime, yeah. I mean, people are people say he only won because Jordan's out, but if you ask me, I take the Rockets even when Jordan's out.
That would be interesting. I'd love to see that matchup.
I think Hakeem was a bad man. I wouldn't want to meet Hakeem in the playoffs. I'd rather meet Jordan.
He was crossing people. He was
not to mention that the Bulls have nobody for him. But I mean, I'm not saying that Vernon Maxwell and Kenny are there gonna check Jordan, but I mean, I think it's more of a matchup than Luke Longley and Hakeem.
Yeah. And Luke Longley was nice defensively. It's not like he was no damn scrub defensively at all.
But I mean, everybody looks like a scrub against Hakeem.
But Hakeem was really good on the offensive end.
When Hakeem played, it's like watching him against other centers sometimes, it was like he was playing against a high school or college player, just with all the fakes he had. It was like it made it look too easy.
And I don't want to. And Kenny Smith and Vernon Maxwell, Robert Horry, all those guys, they are not scrubs by any sense. Actually, Kenny Smith, people want to clown him. He was tough. He was tough back in his Sacramento years, and then in the Houston Rockets, he was tough.
They don't win that championship without Kenny Smith.
Yeah, he was tough
for those championships. But I mean, personally, I take the Rockets. But I'm gonna ask you now, Jelani, who you got? Pop, as greatest coach of all time, Pop or Phil?
That's literally just a toss-up. But, like, okay, so here's my thing. So everybody wants to sit here and be like, oh, Pop had less to work with. He didn't have Shaq. He didn't have Kobe. He didn't have, like, Jordan and all those guys. But people don't understand how hard it is to try to control those guys' egos. Like, those are the biggest egomaniacs you can possibly run into in basketball.
Well, I mean, to be fair, did anybody control Jordan's ego? I mean, that man was punching people in the face.
No, not really. But at the same time, like, he got him to buy into what was important. You know what I'm saying? He got him to buy into, like, and the triangle, first off, like, the triangle can work nowadays, but you're not, like, the last team to try it, like, legit, like, because I know the Warriors run triangle sets, but the Knicks tried it, and they didn't even last because they were so impatient. Well, like, they wouldn't do it.
That was the Knicks, though, like.
So, you're talking about the Lakers, and you're talking about dudes who legit want to win, and they don't want to see themselves fail out there on the floor. To try to convince them to run the triangle when it takes probably a year for teams to figure that out, I feel like that he doesn't get a lot of credit. Like, some guys literally, like, some coaches in history have had players, not of the same exact talent, but have had very, 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 very talented teams, and it never clicked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it never clicked the same way.
Talent-wise, arguably, like, for an example, the Clippers with Doc Rivers when he was on there with Blake, CP3, JJ Redick, DeAndre Jordan. That's more talent than the KG one, but I mean, the KG won the championship for the KG Celtics. I mean,
and also another thing, like, Pop he doesn't even act as a coach, he's like a president, like, he's like the GM of that team, so he gets to pick whoever he, like, the attitude that he wants, the character that he wants on the team, he gets to pick that. So nobody's gonna say no to Pop. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna be like, oh, nah, Pop, we don't like to run that system. Like, he's probably had maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 players like that. But everybody else, Tim Duncan to Tony Parker to Manu, all them dudes is like, yeah, we just gonna finish the system. If he yells at us, we understand why, because he's a great coach. Whereas Phil, he's walking in there, and it's a young Kobe who thinks he's Jordan already. You got Jordan, who is the king of basketball at that point, and then you got Shaq, who thinks he's the king of basketball too, and you got to try to convince them to figure shit out.
Scotty threw a bitch fit that one time. He let not Luke Longley. What's the name?
You talking about Steve Kerr?
No, when he let I'm not good. Who am I thinking of? Oh, when he let Kukoc shoot the last shot.
And then Scotty was pissed. And then Scotty was pissed. Yeah. Those, like, them type of dudes, like, it's like, people don't understand, like, sometimes when you can draft the character that you want, the attitudes you want, it makes it easier as a coach. Whereas when you walk into a building and you got a bunch of guys who they're looking at you like, you know, like, I mean, yeah, you won some championships with us, but now you better teach us how to do this stuff. And it's like, it can be difficult at times. So who do I pick though? I feel like, okay, so after saying all that, I will say Pop, just because over time he's adjusted. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's adjusted to the league.
He played back with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. He played that style, and now he's also played, like, similar to the Warriors style with, like, kind of fast-paced shooting threes.
Whereas Phil, like I said, like, he was a guy who was triangle. If you don't want to run it too bad, you're going to figure out how to run it, even if it takes us forever. Whereas Pop was like, okay, well, we have Tim Duncan here, and we're going to run the ball into them, but then later on in years, we're going to work our ball movement, get like 10 passes in and shoot it, and we're going to play defense, different things like that, you know, so I feel like for adjustment-wise. But I feel like Phil Jackson needs more respect.
Who's your top 3 coaches of all time?
I would say... Wow, that's actually a tough one because there's so many great coaches that have.
Well, you can do 5. It's easier.
I would say, in no order: Phil, Greg Pop, Red Auerbach from the '60 Celtics. Why do I feel like I'm missing a coach that's like coaching like right now or coached recently right now? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
You got Steve Kerr, arguably.
I love Steve Kerr, and I'm like really close to being like, okay. But at the same, so I said Phil, Greg Pop, Red Auerbach. I'd probably say Pat Riley, and then,
So Daly, Larry Bird.
Give me Daly. Give me Daly. But I want to say Steve Kerr, but I'll give it to Daly because I love Steve Kerr and the way he's helped transform that Warriors team into what they've been. But yeah, I'll say Chuck Daly. What about you?
Give me Red, Larry, Pop, Chuck, and I will also take this next coach, not a player, but I'll take Pat Riley.
No, Phillip.
As much as I like Phil, like, I mean, the talent that man had. I mean, if you look at the Bulls, there was no team that had more talent than them the whole time they were playing.
Nah, because I mean, yeah, they had. I mean, they had their
And
guys.
if you
You
look
know
at
what
the
I'm saying?
Lakers, there was no team that had more talent. I mean, arguably, it had more talent than them. I mean, they went almost undefeated in the playoffs for a reason. I mean,
They were tough.
arguably the second best player of all time, or first best player, and then the most dominant center of all time.
They were
So,
tough. I just feel like I feel like I would just only put them in there based off like a assimilation process, being able to get. Because I mean, I remember when Steve Nash and Kobe and Dwight Howard got together, and one thing for sure, they didn't play together very long.
Yeah.
But I can remember D'Antoni trying to teach those guys his system, and Kobe just being like, "Yeah, fuck that, I'm not gonna run that," and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like Phil, he came in and he was like telling those guys, "Look, just listen, like listen to what we have going on here," like, and he got them to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about him.
Well, I think it was different with Kobe is he went out of his way to seek Phil Jackson, like to get him to be like
He respected
him,
him.
and like him
For good reason.
So like, but with it seems like Mike D'Antoni was kind of dumped on him, you know.
Yeah, truthfully. And I mean, like I said, Phil. I feel like he taught those guys a lot, and I would stick with Phil as like probably my top, at least a top 3 head coach that I've ever like been able to like read about and listen to.
That's right. That's right.
So, who do you take in the prime of their career? KG or Tim Duncan?
I'm not taking anybody over Tim Duncan unless we're talking about the greats like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but I mean Tim Duncan has moves, and I respect the fundamental side of the game as much as I like talk shit about baseball and the traditions. I mean, like the footwork that man had down low, the mid range he slowly got, the fadeaway. I mean, he had it all.
I'm a ride for KG. I'm a ride for KG on this.
As much as a KG is like,
I'm a ride for KG on this one. Just because
we're talking about ability, like pure ability in their prime. That's tough.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I like to. I understand.
Tim.
And you're talking about two very, 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 very unselfish players.
And if I had to have somebody play on my team, obviously I'm taking Tim because he's like the most coachable person of all time.
Yeah, he's very likable and he gets guys to listen. Yeah. I get that one. Yeah.
Ability wise, KG was a dog. That's tough.
Yeah, KG. That's my whole thing. Is like KG is just I don't see because people forget how good KG was. Like if you go back and watch,
that's kind of situational for me. Depending on who else.
That's hard. Yeah, it's literally the same. Not the same person.
If it's the same team, and I know it's an elimination playoff game, I'm picking KG probably. But coming into a series, I'd rather have Tim Duncan.
That's almost like that. So who would you want playing the first 3 quarters?
Yeah,
LeBron. But who do you want playing the last quarter with you? Jordan. Like,
I would definitely have. I mean, I just know KG's elimination game. KG's going to leave it all on the court. I don't know if Tim Duncan's going to be able to do that. I mean, like, I'm not saying he won't do that, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like
KG's going to bring his lunch.
I feel like Tim Duncan sometimes is too much of a system player, especially a little bit later in his career when Ginobili and Tim Duncan were there, and he just kind of. I mean, like, you're not going to hear Tim Duncan demand the ball down low, you know?
Right. And I would say that, and then I would just say
a plus and a minus at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? It's like it worked for the Spurs, but like I think KG would do better on the Spurs than Tim Duncan would do on the Timberwolves.
I would definitely. That would be interesting. I think KG. One reason I would pick KG is just because I feel like on the perimeter, defense wise, I think he's a little bit more versatile. A little bit more versatile in that he can switch on to like bigger guys, or not bigger guys, smaller guys, and keep up with them with his long arms and his really quick feet. Not that Tim Duncan couldn't do it. I feel like KG was better at it.
He's a little bit quicker, like, even more mobile than KG. I mean, KG was damn near a small forward in terms of being mobile.
And I feel like I don't know, because Tim Duncan's mid-range jumper was automatic than a motherfucker too. So I feel like KG just overall for his versatility on the defensive end of the floor, and then I feel like his mid-range game and like the amount of things that he could do, I feel like a little bit more
Duncan
than Tim Duncan.
has more all defensive teams than
he does. Yeah, he does. And I feel like in rim protection, I don't know if I take too many people over Tim Duncan. Rim protection.
But as far as defensive player of the year, I mean that KG has that too. So that's one of the big, as far as ability wise, it's one of the closest matchups in NBA history.
Literally. That is tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I would take KG. I think you said Tim Duncan.
I just fuck with Tim Duncan though.
And I mean Tim Duncan. Right, I mean, it's like literally it's like 50-50 at that
drop
point.
step, fadeaway, shimmy.
Everything.
He had it all, man.
I wish we had more Tim Duncans like running around the league right now.
Yeah.
But so got one for
I'll go last one. I think we can do today. We can probably wrap it up after this one.
Oh, what about the Royce the 5'9" thing?
Oh, we can talk about Royce. We'll just go right into that then.
Okay, so what Royce the 5'9" recently, I don't know where this was at, but in an interview that he was quoted as saying that it's all right to be racist. That's what I believe the quote was, and we're
Yeah.
looking that up right now just to make sure to get confirmation on that. But I do know for a fact he said some shit like that.
Yeah, he said it's okay to be racist. That was his quote.
And I was like, at first I was like head scratcher. I was like, SMH, what the fuck is he talking about? Then when you hear the rest of what he has to say, because normally people do that, of course, they want a headline, so they put the most controversial comment in there. But if you read the rest of what he said, it was like, okay, it makes more sense. It makes more sense. Basically, what he said was, you cannot change people's minds, and we shouldn't be trying to change other people's minds and try to goat them into doing certain things or try them into, or try to change their mind frame or things like that. Let's all show respect to each other, and that's what he demands. He wants respect. You may be racist, but he wants respect out of you, and he wants to feel respected when he has a conversation with you. So I think that there's a very important lesson in that. I don't think it's okay. Like, if I had kids, right, I wouldn't say it's okay to be racist. Like, I wouldn't just raise my, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't, like, teach them that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Be like, hey, do what you want.
But what he's saying in terms of, like, being accepting of people, because you know what? At the end of the day, you can try telling people something a million times, they just won't get it. Or they won't want to get it out of pride or things like that, or just for the fact that they want to be right about something and they don't want to be wrong and they don't want to accept a fact. Or accept like a little bit different, be more open-minded, I should say. There are some people like that, and if that's the case, you can't do anything. The only thing that matters in that case is not that they are racist, or if they're harming people, then it's a problem, you know. If they're stepping on people's toes, or if they're physically harming somebody, or even verbally harming them, then it's a problem. But sometimes you can't change closeted racist people. You can't do that. So from that perspective, I understand completely what he's saying, because we will have debates on this show with people over the internet or with other guests and stuff like that. And sometimes you can't convince them in something, and you just have to be like, all right, man, like, I'm just gonna have to accept you, because you just can't. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it from that perspective, but I think I'm more with Royce da 5'9" on this one, where I think it's more like, I don't go into the world like trying to convince people racism is wrong, you know. I mean, it's like people are gonna do what they do, and it's none of my business, you know.
That's what I'm saying. As long as people don't get harmed or anything, physically harmed, and it's not an issue of that sense, then okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I'm not gonna tell nobody you can't be like.
Even if somebody does get harmed at that point, I mean, that's for the law. I'm not gonna try to be like, hey, you can't do that just because he's black. It's like, I mean, that's for the law to take care of at that point, you know. Like, I mean, certain people have it still like ingrained in their mind, and pushing back against them just to make them push harder. So
I like the fact of what he said. I just don't like, of course nobody likes, I mean not nobody, but there are racist people. I don't like, and of course we don't like racist people, but everybody, I remember one teacher, my friend was talking to me in the car, and he was saying that everybody has a little bit of racism in them. And I don't know if it's racism, but a little bit of prejudice in them. Like even you can meet the most wholesome person in the world. They love every skin color. They love every gender, They may not, be as opposed. They might not be as in tune with people who are a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, or fat people. You know what I'm saying? They might fat shame people. Like everybody has a little something in them that's a little bit prejudiced, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a little something in them. It's just that in our society, some things are more egregious than others. That's the only thing. I mean, you could see it with, I don't want to point her out like that because I feel like she's amazing, but Lizzo. You kind of see the amount of people that are like prejudiced in the sense of like fat people or like people that are bigger, you know what I'm saying? Like you can see that if she does something on the internet, sometimes they'll go on there and be like, oh, but you're fat, you know what I'm saying? They'll do stuff like that.
She like goes out of the way to do shit somebody her size definitely shouldn't be doing.
I know, I get that, I understand, but I'm just like, that's your prejudice just came out right there.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm prejudiced, I'm racist too, and I'm not like full on like Hitler or anything like that, but we all have prejudice. But I mean, she definitely shouldn't be like twerking at a Lakers game. That's wrong. Don't do that. Not you.
I feel like just I try my hardest, and even me, I still have it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I still have that in me a little bit in different places, but not from the perspective of like such a direct like 1955 kind of way going on. Like I don't have it in that sense. But yeah, overall, Royce da 5'9", I agree. Not from the outset. I was like, I wouldn't teach my kid, or I wouldn't teach other kids or teenagers to be like, yeah, it's okay to be racist. Like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But there are just some people who are going to stick to that. So that's why.
Let us know what you guys think about Royce da 5'9"'s comment in the comment section. So
please. But what was the last thing that you wanted for? Was it basketball wise, or was that?
No, I think we should probably wrap it up there. Save something for next time.
Yeah, might as well. We can save some stuff. It has been a packed episode. We got to talk about a lot of different things. Like this last segment, we got to get a lot of basketball debating on, a little quote from Royce da 5'9", but we also talked about the All-Star game and All-Star weekend as a whole, and our opinion on that. It's just the Casuals Insight. I got to do my plugging. Twitter, we are going to start posting a lot on social media. Show us some support. We're on Instagram. We're heavy on Twitter. We're on Spotify. If you're listening on Anchor, keep checking us out on Anchor. We are big on YouTube as well, trying to get more views. If you love what we talk about, if you love the channel, if you support us, so show the support by subscribing to us on YouTube. Also, send in questions to us from any platform.
Yeah.
We would love to get some more topics. We would love to get some more Q&A going on. We're going to have guests on the show pretty soon. I don't know if it'll be next episode, but we will have guests on the show
Yeah.
pretty soon to talk.
Some big names coming up. Be ready for those.
Yeah.